What is this crazy stuff we're listening to? Yo. What in the world is this madness? Who's here? Saffron, welcome in. And congrats, big ups, man. Get to go see Kraftwerk tomorrow? That's amazing. It's amazing. Zen, welcome in. And Antone, welcome in. How you doing? Oh, hey, I just saw that you resubbed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Happy Friday, y'all. It is Feedback Friday. Go ahead and drop tracks, drop your links in public feedback and Discord, and we'll get all of that rolling here in just a bit. It's just a bunch of reactor madness running in the background. I'll let you peekaboo in just a sec. Green Hollow, welcome in. Rokusai, welcome in, sir. How are you? And don't. You know what? None of the commands are working right now. Well, some of the commands, but none of the ones that had the video GIFs and stuff. But I just found out that I have some unexpected free time on Monday. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to freaking set up some commands again. Finally sever the last little ties with Streamlabs. I think I'll move over that stuff to, what's the other one? Stream Elements, right? Yeah. And just keep streaming directly through OBS because it seems to be working so much better. But Anton, you have not been forgotten. You may have disappeared for a minute, but no, your command will live on. Yes. So, Saf, are you saying that the only bands that you would go and see at this point are Stereolab and Kraftwerk? And that you're crossing Kraftwerk off the list? It's like a bucket list moment, man. Zen, I'm glad you found the time and that it happened to be on a Friday. Hey! Green Hollow, thank you for the sub. Don't forget that every month you are subscribed to the channel, you get a free sound pack. And this month you get to go and pick out your own sound pack that you want. OhmLabMusic.com. And then just shoot me a DM over Discord. And I will give you that sound pack. It's just that easy. The other update is that the monthly challenge has changed just a little bit. This month we're doing a new format. Everyone is welcome to participate. It is not restricted to subscribers only. You can produce in any genre and format that you like. Just follow the community rules. No hate, bigotry, none of that bullshit. Anyway, any format you want, any length, any genre. The catch this month is that you have to use a sound from nature somewhere in it. Any sound, not restricting what sound from nature. It could be anything. It's a wide open palette this month. Zen, I'm doing all right over here. How are you? I'm just getting started. I've had a couple of meetings. And now this. And it's almost the weekend, which is great. Oh no, Green Hollow, no! I hope it's not COVID. And I hope that whatever it is, it passes quickly, man. Sorry you're going through it. Zen moved to the Netherlands. Wow. Oh my goodness. So you and Roku are going to get a cup of coffee. Because it's just one small neighborhood, right? Yeah, Anton, it is until I get the command back. It is gone. Am I your favorite meme? Ooh, that's tough, man. Screaming Squirrel might be the all-time favorite here for most. The Gazelle is up there. The Anton Pace is up there. Oh yeah, these are good. Samarit's welcome in. How you doing, homie? Lumish, welcome in. Doing good here. Hope you are as well. Zen is saying, by the way, started producing on Bitwig last week on Roku size suggestion. Still learning it and reinstalling synths. How you liking it? Yeah, and don't. All the commands are gone. If you want some sound on a trigger, on your trigger here, you just send me what you want. As long as it's not going to upset people, we'll put it on here. Islamic History 77, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. A collapsing star is nature. Yes. I do believe that qualifies, Samaritz. I do believe. Now I'm exceedingly interested in your next entry. Oh, man. Tea. If I were over there in the Dutch land, I would join you guys for tea. Oh man, I knew you were gonna have more Euro rack modules, Samaritz. I'm almost caught up on chat here, and I see that you lasted a week, right? Was that a week? You lasted a week, and then you went out and you got a new module. It's addictive, right? The exposure that I've had to Bitwig, which it's been a couple of years since I've touched it, it was very intuitive, and I love that modulation, like movement, is kind of like at the core of the whole thing. I love that. Can you put vocals on the multi-challenge? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. It's Wild Boars. Welcome in. Kwame. How you doing, homie? Happy Friday. Ooh. Nice, Paul. Oh, I wonder what Paul's going to do with nature this month. Ooh. All right, so before we jump into some quick feedback, or just really quick before we jump into feedback is what I meant to say. So here's what we're actually running today. It's 2 instances of metaphysical function. I dropped in a vocal sample from the Santa Claus Conquers the Martians sound pack, which, you know, we can make that available. We can make that and what other community pack could we make available? There's another one. What the hell was it? Oh, it's Reefer Madness. So for those of you who are currently subbed and you're trying to figure out what sound pack you want, if one doesn't strike your fancy on the website, you can always request Santa Claus Conquers the Martians or Reefer Madness too, because those are a couple of sound packs that we've done for the community here. All right, and then some drums. That's it. So that's what's making this madness in the background. We'll just turn it all off and start listening to you guys instead. Let's do that. See who's here. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. All right, Green Hollow is in first. Nice. Excellent. A week exactly. Well, hey man, congrats on lasting exactly 1 week. I know plenty of people that they can't even make it 2 days. So you have a very strong will over there, as it merits. Oh man. Kwame, what's the new plugin framework that got released? Clap. Oh. Oh. Clap is here. Andrew, welcome in. Happy Friday. Do subs get to skip line? No. Nah. Where did I? Oh, so this is a good question. Andrew Jack is asking. I have a question. Where did you initially learn about sound design? That was right here. I started figuring stuff out through experimentation. And as I got more and more interested in it, I started kind of reading and um, sitting alongside or whatever, just the people that have done stuff that's just the most impressive back then. But there really wasn't any kind of like legitimate class where you could go and um, actually learn all of this stuff. It wasn't really an option. There was like audio production and sound engineering and all that kind of stuff, which of course I was interested in and did, um, but it was largely through experimentation and I guess like personal innovation, honestly, because I've discovered many, many, many times over, like far removed from like figuring something out, that the way that it was actually done the first time was like a completely different methodology or workflow or type of synthesis or whatever. Um, yeah, it's just taught me over and over and over again that there are so many schools of like artistic development, and we all kind of have this. Um, uh, I don't know, I guess an ability to kind of unlock our own university, right, in life, just by kind of tuning into stuff a bit more. And if you're just really, really passionate about something, eventually, inevitably, you're going to start to understand the mechanics of it and the reasoning of it. And you're going to push yourself to, um, I guess, the limits of understanding, right? In the pursuit of joy more than anything. Um, but it was just a lot of sequential rabbit holes is really what it was. And we're talking about going back a far way. I remember with my very first synthesizer, I would sit on my bed. I was in grade school, and I would wait for the Barney Miller theme song to come on TV. And I had this little black and white TV. It was like little, like a little 6-inch screen or something. And I would wait for it to come on, and I would um, play along with it. And I had to wait a week, right, to get Barney Miller back to see if I had like the attack and the decay and stuff right. So I had a little notebook that I kept with a little shorthand notation on a whole bunch of stuff. Attack, decay, sustain, release, and what waveform, and what notes certain things were played in or whatever. And that kind of developed, I think. I used to take apart. I grew up with a lot of record players and reel to reel, and we had an 8-track stereo in the living room, and I got into radio and television at a young age. I was DJing on radio when I was a teenager, and had a couple of cable shows while I was a teenager. So I just got into like tech and stuff beyond just the sound pretty early. So I think most of it was just like natural exploration, to be fair. And then as things developed, because remember this was all pre-computer music, right? So there were no plugins to like decode, or like deconstruct. That stuff hadn't been built yet largely. So if you wanted to understand something like a phaser or delay or something, it was really quite simple, right? You got your guitar pedal or whatever, and you ran some stuff through it, and you just kind of played with it and figured it out, and it made sense. So, and everything has kind of grown over time. So, I guess in this one way, being old plays in my favor. I guess it's a good question though, because I know my stuff is like all over the road. It's all the genres of everything, right? Wait. Hey, Central, welcome in. Multiverse, welcome in. What was my first synth? First synth was a Casio. Um, I can't remember the exact model. I've got like a picture of it and the name of it written down somewhere. But it was a super cheap one. But Casio had like made its way into all facets of like department stores and whatnot at that point. So mine probably came from like a maybe not like a Toys R Us or something, but like a Sears or something, I bet. I don't know. I don't know where my dad would have gone to get something like that. Because I grew up out in it was fairly rural Oregon at the time. Yeah. Yeah. Paul, I've thought so too. I thought that it was kind of the inspiration for the Seinfeld thing. Yeah, absolutely. Boom, ba ba boom, ba ba boom, ba 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 boom. Yeah, it's catchy. It's got it. And then computers happen, and then Steve Duda happened. Right, exactly. Everything started to snowball um, when DAWs became, when computers and DAWs became more capable of keeping up with people because we were still doing things much easier without computers up till that point. And then it just became a stupid easy decision shortly thereafter. Of course, you go with the computer. Super sauce for life, says Roku. How important do you think it is these days to stick to one genre and really developing a sound in that genre in the sense of making it in the industry? I don't think it's important at all. I think that if you want to connect with the same exact fan base in the same or similar way again, then it can be important. But I think it's more important to explore, evolve, and grow and play, play more than anything, honestly, because those are the things that really kind of translate. It's the undercurrent and overtone of the entire experience with art in general. Is like how engaged is the artist, and are they really in it? Are they a conduit for what they're trying to achieve? Right? It's like what does music mean to people? It's a pretty big question, right? And that's basically what you're asking is like in the sense of making it. So making it basically just means that you're able to sustain this pursuit, right? Like keep doing it, right? And yeah, I think you got to chase what you're going to stay really engaged with and be inspired by. I think that's definitely the most important thing. In regards to making monetary growth and success, like in the business sense, I don't think that it's super important to stick to a genre, but I do think focusing on perhaps one main kind of output um, is is the better choice these days. Not saying that everybody needs to be specialized, but to grow something successfully over time in a content production era, like everyone is producing stuff at this incredible clip right now. And if your goal is to make sound packs or your goal is to make albums, then at the end of your career now, you could expect to have, you know, thousands of sound packs or hundreds of albums. Um, and that's this unbelievable thought a generation ago or a couple of generations ago. So it's I think right now it's more important to pursue what you're really going to be inspired and motivated by, and the thing that's going to help you push forward continually in some way. All right, let's do this. Something good. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Iron Imp, welcome in. Oh man, Eric, welcome in. Everybody's here this morning, huh? Let's do this. Let's do this. Green Hollow. Sorry for the wait. Let's roll. Mm. This is really nice, Green Hollow. I've enjoyed everything that you've brought through. This has this incredible balance from the very beginning, um, and it's a very full and present track without being overcrowded, which I really appreciate. The only thing I'm really hearing are like a couple of very small embellishment, like opportunities where you could have like maybe a subtle transition effect, kind of pushed back to the background around 110. There's like a very subtle change at that point, and then maybe at 130 where that transition is happening, that you actually do have an effect there, and everything kind of drops down. It'd feel kind of cool if there was a little suck back layered with that transition that you've got there right now. Just like maybe like a hat, like a thin hat, like a tss, and then just reverse that. So it's like a tss, but it's just like a little thread in that other transition. I think it'd sound really nice. Maggie, welcome in. The space that you've got going here between like 150 and 158-ish, it'd be cool to feel what, some really interestingly shaped filter modulation would do right there. Because the mix does hang for just a little bit there. And it doesn't have like just a float kind of feel to it. It feels like you could definitely have a little bit more movement and get away with it. Hats and upper frequencies in general could be tamed just a little bit in this. They feel just a little bit too excited in a couple of spots, so I think bringing them down just overall would be really nice. Or if you're kind of finishing the whole track with saturation, maybe just dialing down the target frequency just a little bit, so it's not generating as much in those upper frequencies. Otherwise, this is really, really nice. I mean, not otherwise. This is really nice. Those are super nitpicky and creative ideas. This is really solid. Very cool, and I like the art selection as well. Yeah, yeah, Iron Imp, absolutely. Respect the minimalism. Everybody's loving this. The drum work. Excellent chopping work on the vocals. Very nice. Yeah. People be digging. Iron Imp, welcome in, by the way. I can't remember if I actually said it. Lurkin making noodles. Nice. What kind of noodles? Zen, you're up next. This one is from Zanasi, and it is so sweet. Melty. Happy Friday, homie. There's another one. There's not a lot to pick apart here. There is one technical thing, and that's the sub. It's a really beautiful sub. It's so lush and it fills the space perfectly. I also feel like there's enough frequencies still in play that you could roll up more. I feel like it's kind of felt before it's heard, and it's like you can almost feel the influence of it on the other stuff as everything is kind of coming into focus. I think that you could roll it up another 10 hertz or so, and it would still fill your mix just as much, and you'd get a little bit more clarity and more even distribution of energy. And the crackle, there were a couple of spots. There was this little breakdown where you could hear it more clearly, and it felt a little quick on the loop. So maybe mix in one or two more, or maybe chop it a couple of times and stretch each one of like a couple of those just a little bit differently, and then shuffle them in the arrangement or something, just so it feels like a bit more authentic. Other than that, really, really digging this vibe. The arrangement's ace, and the sound design is awesome. Your palette's great. Yeah, you guys are hitting home runs this morning. This is great. Hulk Smash, welcome in. Lo-fi indeed. Melty, thank you for the gift subs. Oh, hey, Heidi is here. Wrinkle Giggles, Iron Imp, and Alu, and Cold. Oh, my goodness. Everybody who is currently subbed, go and pick a sound pack out from the OhmLab store, and then DM me on Discord. That's what we're doing this month. Instead of just giving one sound pack at random to the entire community, everybody gets to pick their own, just because. Love. And don't forget, the entire community can participate in the community challenge this month, not just the subscribers. You can produce any format and any genre. The only catch is you got to use at least one sound from nature somewhere in your mix. That's it. And we will be having our listening and voting party on July 1st. Everyone who participates gets another free sound pack, and winners get a chance to be on the show and win other things. So that's what we're doing this month. Back to feedback. Looks like everyone is digging this. Iron Imp says, I like the long attack on the synths, kind of feeling like they're sweeping back towards the end of the bars. Yeah. Yeah. It's from Isotope Vinyl. Gotcha. Yeah, you know, Zanasi, you, I mean, can't say don't be nervous. I mean, it's your feeling, but from where we're all sitting, there's no need to be nervous about it. You're making some nice moves. Lumish, oh my goodness. One community legend after another. Shall we see what Chromatic version 1 is all about? Oh man. There's so much good in this. There's so much good in this. The way that it builds up in the intro, all of it's great. I feel like the things that I want to say about this are like one part embellishment and one part um, like magnification or something. All right, so on this bass, which is freaking delicious, it feels like your signature bass. This sound. It'd be cool to have like a just like a roll your own comb filter, right? Take like a tape delay and bring it all the way down to, I mean, you got to tune it, but it's probably going to be somewhere between like 8 and 14 milliseconds or something like that. And crank up the feedback just enough to where it feels like it's almost like reverby. And then bring that wet way down. Or put it on its own channel and trigger it with a side chain when the kick hits or something like that to like add a splash of like this kind of extended comb effect. I think it'd be freaking awesome. Also, I kind of wonder about all of the competition around the vocals and the bass when they're both really popping off. And I'm wondering if you might be able to get away with some really hard stereo position play, like having this bass like kind of jump around in a few spots when it's hitting these kind of higher squelchy tones. Um, I think it'd be a heady kind of trippy thing to do, but it might play well with those vocals. You might get more clarity of the from the vocals down the middle. But this is just, man, you're always bringing fantastic stuff, man. And yeah, wow, Boars. Yeah, actually really clean. Yeah, Loomish has been just absolutely killing it. Man. Oh yes, and I should say, love Silver. But really, really nice. Um, Everyone is impressed. Oh, nice, dude. I'm just reading your update here, Antone. Nice, man. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Big ups. Congrats. Roku's saying the chord stabs you have occasionally could be much wider. So he's thinking maybe some more stereo play too. Um, yeah, absolutely. Lumish, this is just great. This is just great. Play with stereo position and maybe like this secondary throw of some comb at the base to see what it does for you. It's Wild Boars. You're up. By the way, this is a fantastic name. Fish memory, let us forget. Hey, Antone. Sorry for hitting pause, but this deserves this. Big ups, dude. And you got booked for a national radio show and an interview in the UK right after bigging it. Nice, dude. Big shit indeed. Big ups, man. That is awesome. See, now we got to get your command back up, right? That's freaking great. All right, it's Wild Boars.
Say ignorance is bliss.
Mm. Man, this is just friggin' lovely. It's got such a really like comfortable, nostalgic feel to it. It's got really nice balance. There's a bit too much highs in the vocals. It's around the sibilants more than anything, but the high frequencies are tickling the ears a bit, which just kind of pushes that side of the mix. I think you can get every last little bit of that atmospheric quality that you're going for, that airy quality, if you use some kind of a responsive EQ or multiband or de-esser that's like really dialed in. So it's not touching too much of the frequency range up there. Saint, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Um, the kick is awesome. I want like a little bit of like saturation grit on it, not a bunch, but just a tiny little bit. I just want a little bit more of it, I think. Uh, and I think that the drums, which is like half the magic of this mix, I think the snare feels a little bit too on point, like on the grid. It'd be cool if it was just a little bit more loose in its timing, and maybe even just like the hearing the stick kind of drag on the snare head a couple of times would be really, really nice somewhere in there, just to give it a little bit more of a human kind of feel, because everything else is so fluid and organic and dreamy um, and nostalgic. It's got this kind of retro appeal, and the drums are so kind of raw and dry and almost a little bit too good on time. Other than that, um, yeah, Soothe is amazing. Kwame, welcome back. Just in the nick of time. Yeah, and this is I mean, this is a sound, you know what I mean? Like, this is a really nice thing. I'd love to hear more from you. Roku's saying the snare is a bit obscured. Nothing really bad. Just dial it a bit more in. Make space for the snare in your vocal EQ, and then your mix is golden. Lovely low end. Yeah, 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 yeah. Good call with the tame, Lumesh. Yeah, everybody loves this. Everybody's loving this. This is great. Oh, Tom's here. Bucket load of honey and alcohol. Now you're here. I hope everything went well, man. Sending good vibes your way. Kwame, you are up. Oh, he's been sitting on this one for a few days. This is June 11th. Did you bring spare alcohol? It was a good time. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Kwame, let's roll. Man, if ever there was like a fantastic ad for piano lessons, Kwame is that ad. Not only have you been every single flippin' week for what, like a year now, you've just been like on this very linear progression with your mixing and like your understanding of placing sounds together in certain ways and doing things at just the right time to get everything feeling just right. And you've had such big strides. It's absolutely incredible. This one, I think everything is flipping fantastic except for the volume. I think it's really the only thing that needs work right now. Everything is too hot. The LUFs are pushed, so you've just got too much um, maximization happening, right? These keys, man, these chords, all of it, the change up, uh, fantastic. So here's what I suggest: is start again with the volume mix, figure out what your hero is for each one of these areas, and then bring up or segments of the song, and then bring up everything else around it. Um, in relation to it, and then make volume changes throughout the mix. Like start writing in some really solid volume automation and listen to this track as a fan rather than the writer of the music when you're doing the volume automation, because you have a lot of room for these like surging dynamic changes in your mix around these same pivotal moments in the arrangement. And those two things could be working in harmony in a really incredible way, I think, on this one. So I think this one might be one of your best when it's all done, all said and done. It's great. It's really nice. Really good palette. You've really put together a very full um, idea here. It's awesome and great. Action the Jesus, welcome in, and Invisible Moon, welcome in. Happy Friday to you both. Feedback Friday here. If you're looking for some feedback, you can drop a link in the Discord public feedback channel. See what people are saying here. Besides piano lessons, man. Honestly, I think it was a bit sad that day, but hopeful plus a little hungover. Man, with the right mix of emotions, um, and perhaps inebriation, great things can fall out of us, huh? Mm. Kwame, if the mixing has been really hard for you lately, here's a tip. When you start the mixing process, only, only touch the volume and panning. And start with just a few elements and get those things locked in super tight and just only focus on the loudness relationship of those things. And then as you start to bring in more characters in the mix, you got to pay attention to the stereo position too. So just go back to getting the mental image of what this band would look like if it were on a stage, right? They can't be shoulder to shoulder, right? They can't perform that way, right? So give them enough space to breathe and perform, um, and give them enough difference in volume, right? And before you even start touching anything else, just kind of get stuff into a rough position, and oftentimes that'll help. As Tom says, don't worry about that too much, dude. Just follow the flow and feedback. Your writing definitely comes first. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah. Islamic History 77. Yeah, you are next. Absolutely. Maybe you shouldn't use your headphones for a session. Um, yeah, Zanasi is saying I agree with Iggy. I think ideas beat mix all day. Mix is technical and can be fixed. Ideas need to be formed inside. Absolutely. Yeah. Kidbit, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Rokusai says, I write my best music when there is emotionally something happening in my life. I don't write stuff when I'm not in such a mood. I do mixing and sound design then. Yeah, right, because your brain is clear and you can make some decisions that make sense, that you can understand when you come back to them later, right? But when you're emotional, yeah, it just you're already tapped into that part of you. Loomish, you come here for feedback, you leave with almost life lessons. Love it. Awesome. Tom, have a good one, man. Have a good weekend. Nate, welcome in, homie. How you doing? I think I responded to you. I think. I hope I did. If I didn't, I will. I think I responded to you. Good seeing you for a moment yesterday. Oh yeah, sub. Absolutely. Welcome in, by the way, Zach. Yeah. Hit the 1K mark last week. Do we have a skip line? Nope. Nope. We all roll together here. But it's probably not that long a wait. Plus, you got really great music ahead of you. Islamic history 77. Let's do this.
People of Kufa and my oppression, victims of tainted succession, they would write to the son of Ali. Kufan rebellion put down quickly. Hussein and his party would fight him alone. Deeply outnumbered, no fear was shown. Sons of Karbala, righteous were slain. Death of a modern generational pain. Killed by Yazid, tyrant throne. Caliph by father, aristocratic blood. Without honor, without remorse. How could you desecrate a cause? People of Kufa saw they had failed, and my brutality forced like a gale. Only themselves left to blame. Self-flagellation to cope with the shame. They left the prophet's grandson to die. Judgment day looms, cracked moon sky. Sons of Karbala, righteous were slain. Death of a modern generational pain. Killed by Yazid, tyrant throne. Caliph by father, aristocratic blood. Without honor, without remorse. How can you desecrate a cause? This tragedy foretold years ago. The prophet cried tears unknown. Archangel Gabriel came to reveal on the Euphrates Hussein would be killed. Then Gabriel offered the sand, the scene of the slaughter, sacred land. How could you do this to the prophet's grandson? You were burning hell when judgment day comes. You had no mercy, you were good to say. You got the song yourself, here come the praise.
Alex, welcome in. Yeah, Roku's saying good vocal performance. Yeah, nice control. It's got a fair bit of grit in the voice. Maintain control the whole time. I think some nice tube saturation on the guitars would give them that kind of edge to keep up with the edginess of the music. I think the hi-hats are a little hot and up front in the drum mix, and the kick could use a boost. Just a little tightening with some EQ and compression, and then some overdrive for definition, and again some punch to help it kind of keep up. You might want to judge the snare after you do that. Right now, it's kind of like in the middle. Um, nice use of transition effects to keep the flow going. One thing I would say is your the volume balance in general in the mix was uh, pretty good in most spots, but I think that it would be better if there was active volume automation happening, more change over time as things change in the progression of the song, right? As the arrangement changes, the volume of everything should change with it, I think. Um, it was good. It was good. I think that if you were to open up more dynamics in all of this, you might want to sprinkle in a little bit more of those embellishment effects. You know, you had a couple of swooshes and stuff in there, um, and they kind of help keep that flow going. So I would play with the volume a bit and then see how all of that feels. It's really just about like, accenting the emotional moments and instrumental changes um, that I think would really kind of take this to another level. It's good stuff. Next up is Rokusai. Work in progress still, did tons of layering work and sharpening up the harmonies, added a bass line, and started locking in the proper ideas. Awesome. We're talking about everything I didn't do. I'm just the songwriter, hired a singer and a producer. All good though. Talked about the stuff outside of your control. Well, then job well done on your end. All right, let's see what Roku's up to this week. Man, your stuff sounds good on Audio Mac. I mean, your stuff always sounds good, but you know what I mean. Very nice indeed. Love. I've been waiting for this moment in this song ever since we saw how low the waveform gets right here. Roku, damn it, you've done it again. Now I desperately need this album, which I cannot have yet because it's not done yet. It's really flippin' beautiful. Can you turn the toms up right here on this peak right here? And then everything is just flippin' fantastic. Hulk Smash says, damn. And Something Good says, beautiful. Hey, hold on a second. No, okay. All right. This is great. Skipping disabled for 25 seconds because I paused, I guess. Interesting feature. Okay. It's just fantastic. All I have is questions. I have nothing for you. Is the dock wrapped up? Or are you just blowing off a little bit of steam and then getting back to it? And is this the opening track for the EP? Got questions. Yeah, most likely after the release of the dock, it does demand most of my attention. And no, it's not going to be the opening track. Okay, cool. Effortless. I don't know about effortless. You know, those things that sound effortless. Man, that's a goal, right? Antone. Okay, so Antone, for those of you who weren't tuned into this part of the chat earlier or weren't here for it, Antone was just recently on Eminem's radio station, and there was this beat battle, and he won, and next thing you know, he's being interviewed by some UK outlet. It's awesome. This is great. Hey, Kwame, this is a great question. You're not interrupting anything because LUFs are relevant to everyone. Yes, there absolutely are targets that you should be shooting for. Neg 16 is kind of the average. There is actually a website that allows you to just drop a file right here. They have a plugin too, or you could just look at the meters in your DAW if you've got some dependable plugins that you produce with. This is the link to loudness penalty. Neg 16 or get the fuck out, says Roku, right? Yeah, that's basically what all of the streaming platforms are going to say to you. So Anton says song battle, not beat battle. I don't think I've been in a stream since I started rapping, but yes, I rap and produce everything now. That's awesome, dude. All right, so let's check this. Let's check this. Everybody get ready for some bass. Rick Owens' Barbie's Girl. That's what this one's called here.
Come here, rap with me. Up in the sky, you looking like a millie. But it's still down with me. Down with me, you either out of you with me. I got a lot of these stories, but I can't tell you nothing. They've been through all of the city, but still can't keep it real with me. I guess I'm to they mind that they fear they son. He got the scat hat with a backpack. Not a lot of people tell you that you was a bad whack. I've been out here in the sun while they playing blackjack. I don't see in front of love, homie, that is a bad rat. Man, step up to the plate, what you gon' do? Looking at your dumb face, thinking 1, 2. Man, there's gonna be blood on my Rick shoes. So you think about what you doing for girl in my city. I said, come here, rap with me. Up in the sky, you looking like a millie. But it's still down with me. Rick Owensbury girl in my city. I said, come here, rap with me. Up in the sky, you looking like a millie. But it's still down with me. Rick Owensbury girl in my city. I said, come here, rap with me. Up in the sky, you looking like a millie. But it's still down with me. Rick Owensbury girl in my city. I said, come here, rap with me. Up in the sky, you looking like a millie. But it's still down with Jimmy.
Well, look who wrangled this bass. Dude, this is basically just radio ready. I know I've given you hell about the luffs in bass before, but this is so much control. This is so much intention running through this entire thing. You've hit a lot of really good points. You've hit a lot of really good points. I see why you won the battle, homie. Track slaps, says Nate. That was sick, says Rain. Welcome in, by the way, Rain. Real alien space bats in the chat. Mm-hmm. 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 Antone skilled as fuck. I will agree with that. Yeah. Now I just want to hear more because I want to know why the hell you weren't rapping for us until now. Do you feel like you've unlocked the missing piece of your entire production puzzle by adding the vocals, or how does it feel right now? Yeah, Roku, right? I mean, we have your first couple of things that you brought through, Anton, which must have been, when was that? Like 9 months ago or something at least, right? There were memes here in the community. It left ripples and shockwaves. Some of us still have stretch lines on our face from all of the bass. Unlocked the missing like gem of my musical ability. Yeah, no, seriously, this is it. Like you were always this. This sounds so much more natural. Like in as an entire production, this feels like there's less I don't want to say less trying, right? Not less forcing, because the other stuff didn't sound forced. It was good too. It was just different. This is it sounds like you've kind of figured out what your sound is what it sounds like. This feels comfortable. Oh, wow. Okay. Roku says, my ears are still folded backwards from the sound pressure of your basses before. It's been only now that they started to move back in place. Of course, Antone. Of course. If we got time for it, we will listen to it. Multiverse production. And by the way, Antone, big ups and congrats. It's really sounding good. Multiverse production, you are up. Oh, and Antone, community challenge this month. Produce any genre, any format. Use at least one sound from nature. Go. With some lyrics. I fully understand why now you were asking, can I add lyrics? Full endorsement, dude. Octobase. Pablo Parson, welcome in. Oh, this Phil. Yes. Yes. Oh. Yo, what up, Rick? Zara's in the house. The fuck is going on today? You guys gang up on me behind my back, just be like, we're gonna bring absolutely nothing but fire. There's gonna be no purpose for him to do this. We're just gonna listen to good music all day. I dig this. It's so fun and quirky and original. It's such a mashup of genres and ideas, and love the decisions that you're making. I really dig the art. It's a flippin' journey. Like we just went to a whole bunch of different places together. Lots of so many little memorable moments. It's like a scrapbook of awesome. It's great. It's great. That fill at 2 minutes. The only thing that I have in regards to like small changes is you've got this square synth that's got a small bit of the game vibe going on. It's around 228. It'd be cool if maybe just a couple few notes in that whole thing were 100% dry. Like it just sounded like a freaking Game Boy intercepted the mixing console for just a second or something. Just some kind of juxtaposition in there. Love all the choices. Really love all the choices. Dig it. No prisoners, no survivors. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Um Multiverse. Are you a band nerd? Did you do band in school? Because I feel like I should be like giving you the secret band nerd salute right now or something. This is awesome. A lot of good stuff on display. Something good. You are up next. Zaris, the one and only Zaris is here today, you guys. Welcome in, Rick. Happy almost weekend. Well, it is weekend for you, right? Something good. Donkey Kong type beat. Let's roll. It is the weekend there. A saint. 40 minutes into the weekend. Nice, you guys. Cheers. Cheers. This is fresh. Okay, this is I don't know why it says Donkey Kong type beat. It's more like it's what's more fresh. I mean, I'm not like dissing on that. It is. It's better than that though. It's more, I don't know, it's a very fresh take. It's cool. It's very playful and light and fun and I think it holds a ton of value, honestly. I could see a lot of people using this. I don't know what your intentions are with your music, but this sounds like something that would be licensed in a lot of commercial use, honestly. Um, there are a couple of things that I would probably fix mix wise on this one. I'm just going to click in a couple of different spots really quick. So right here, you can kind of hear some of these lower frequencies, like with the brush on the snare, for instance, right? You could roll that up a little bit more and then just soften the decibel per octave curve on your EQ. And it'll take out some of the thumpiness of that, but leave that texture on top. And I think it would help your kick drum come through just a little bit more. There's just a couple of spots in here where things feel kind of thick. And part of it is just kind of the wrangling of the low end of the individual tracks in the mix. Let's click into the middle here. This is good. EQ on your reverb channels, right? If you take just a little bit of low, a little bit more low out of some of those reverb channels, you'll probably get just a little bit more clarity in the middle of your mix. And then right here, you've got these strings, plus you've also got this, what was this? I guess it's just this affected guitar, but they're both back there in basically the same spot. And they're kind of tucked right here. I'd love for the strings at least to be brought over here so you can hear them a little bit more readily, kind of more in line with where the flute is, right? So they're a little bit more toward the front middle side. Yeah, I just released an 8-bit pack today for Audio Design Desk. Been playing a ton of Katamari with the kid at home. I feel like this just kind of fits the mood lately. I dig it. And if you don't have your stuff out there in a portfolio somewhere, earning you some passive income with licensing, then we should talk about that. We should dedicate a stream soon to the new boot camp channel here. I want to start doing that. I want to just kind of pick streams at random and have a couple of you know, heart-to-heart moments and just talk about like what it actually takes to make all that work. Yeah, because this is really good. It's got a certain kind of quality to it that people will um, really dig. So Disney now has all of the complete X-Files. So movies included. Nate says I may have to submit that riff rock track you heard yesterday. OhmLab, I'm if submissions are still open, obviously. Yeah, go for it, dude. I haven't looked to see how many we have, but yeah, go for it. It's all right if we run a little over today. It only reminded you of Donkey Kong. I think it's better. I think it's better. I think it's also got a bit of a um I don't know, man. It's got some flair, you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Salsa with orchestral and funk influences. Yeah, yeah. All right, so no, only the series. Okay, cool. They'll make you pay for the movie. Such a great show. All right, next up is Maggie Glassman, Fight with Myself. Let's see what this one is all about. Welcome in, by the way, Maggie.
You're probably not supposed to pull your hair out. And I know you're not supposed to bite your nails. But I should know it's hard to break a habit when thoughts are moving in and staying there. Just calm down, it's okay, it's not worth your whole day. You'll be fine in a while, but for now you fake a smile. I'm in a fight with myself. I've cried every night, 'cause I couldn't ask for help. Been wishing and hoping that somehow it would go away. But anxiety loves to pick fruit from the lowest hanging tree. You creep into my head uninvited, and I have trouble telling you to go. Fear inside of me that you've ignited, and I can't force myself to take control. I'm in a fight with myself. I've cried every night, 'cause I couldn't ask for help. Been wishing and hoping that somehow it would go away. But anxiety loves to pick fruit from the lowest hanging tree. I'm in a fight with myself. I've cried every night, 'cause I couldn't ask for help.
All right. I like this. It's really good. Really nice intro and transition. Really good production quality. The arrangement is nice. Your vocal performances are fantastic. Really, really good stuff here. There's a little bit of extra low end in this, I think, and I'm not sure it honestly needs to be there after that big cinematic impact. The mood has already been set. I don't know that all of the low end frequencies need to be staying there. Um, but aside from that, um, this is a really good quality production. Kind of wondering what your what your mission is with music. Where are you going? Where have you been? And are you currently in the room, Maggie? Yeah, Roku, the scoring work in the X-Files is on point, like throughout. It's so good. So good. Roku's saying, good producer and mix engineer, whoever did that, good studio ears, or good studio, good ears. They made your voice work well with the music. Nice tucked in harmonies. The only gripe I have is the choice of coloration EQ wise. Pop bright vocal mix doesn't really work with a ballad track and could have been a more muted EQ choice, but that's a personal thing. Walks, welcome in. Happy Friday. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Roku. There does seem to be a little bit of conflict between the two. Um, I feel like um, I feel like this could work if things were tightened up a bit. It'd be good to know a bit more of the story. Did you submit? I don't know. Did you? Are you in there? We'll find out. You may submit. Let's see how many we have here. Oh, holy hell, you guys. We're going way over today. Yeah, go ahead and drop it in, and then I'll close the gate. I'll close the queue. Really good stuff, Maggie. Really good stuff. Melty, you are up. This one is called Crimson Dreams. Spotify. Roku, take care, homie. Big love. Good luck on the dock. Spotify is considering opening.
I know you wanted me to come around to find a way through. Find your heart that's melted away. Easy said, easy done, it's okay. When I found you, you were there, 'cause had to tell me every day you live life in a constant storm buzz. Always had a new excuse, 'cause bring it back to the beginning. Everybody thinks they're winning. Brigilla got me cold red-handed, backtracking like I never landed. When we set sail on the ocean, propelled by locomotion, we confessed our dual devotion. Life slow to a slow motion.
Yeah, this is pretty solid. You guys been doing this for a matter of months, and you basically already got an album together. It's good. I mean, you guys have obviously got some good energy together. Um, so congrats on that. That could be tough to find. And solid arrangement and songwriting. You guys are doing good stuff. The backing vocals can come up a bit. It's the biggest gripe I have in the whole mix, honestly, is just that they're kind of buried and I can't hear them very well. And I think that they should be pretty close to uh, the main vocals, loudness wise, because I think they add a certain little something. And definitely Chili Pepper vibes for sure. Elias Kano, welcome in. You're asking the question where I was going to ask. Yep. Yeah. So subvids brings up a good point. It needs a bit of punch in the mix, and I think that this actually starts to come from a few different things, but I think it kind of starts with compression, with kind of shaping the sound just a little bit more during the mixing process. And some of it could actually be some multi-band compression, so you have a little bit more control over what parts of the sound you're kind of accenting. Um, or wanting us to focus on. But I think that that and just in general, some saturation in the mix and master process would really be nice because you guys have a lot of the components in place already. This is rock and roll. You don't need a lot of complex plugins or anything like that. You just need a couple passes through some nice soft tubes or warm tubes, and everything starts to kind of get bigger and bigger because all of these harmonics are kind of building up on top of the soup that is rock and roll, right? All these sounds already kind of stay in their own lane, right? The bass, the guitar, the vocals, right? So it's really about finding a way to make the most out of the soup where all of those crossover frequencies are kind of commingling, and I think that's where the real kind of the magic is with this kind of music. So um yeah, that's what I would say on that one. Chili's drums are a bit more aggressive, absolutely. Um, yeah, the static nature of the music, though, I don't think it's necessarily just the drums. I think it's actually a bit more of like a rigid, like on the meter delivery. So if I was to say anything about the performance of all of this, like the delivery of all of it, would be to loosen up just a little bit with it. It sounds like a song that's fairly new to you guys, which it is, right? You guys have been playing it for a little bit of time, so it doesn't really feel like everyone is performing in this really live, fluid moment. It's more like we're trying to stay on track and make sure that it sounds good, you know, because this is going on an album, right? And you want to be on time. So everybody's kind of nodding to the click track, right? So a little bit more organic delivery would be the only other thing that I would think to make this better. All right, let's get to the next. Ah, where'd my stuff go? Central. Central's up. Erratic. This one is called Erratic. He says super early on, but a single I'm working on for after my EP. Oh, excellent. That means the EP is getting close. Central. Yo, yo, yo. Nate, thank you. Closing the queue. Yeah, I dig this one, man. I want to go back here. I might be crazy, but it might also be really cool to have some kind of polyrhythmic beat that is slowly being disclosed as this ramp up is occurring here. Something that you kind of get a whiff of, like right before the full mix hits. You hearing this? Other than that, I mean, there's like this the little small embellishments, the little kind of wow sound that's in there, like that could come up a little bit. Um, the sub cutoff frequency feels a little low to me. I would probably AB between where it is now, which feels like 30, and bring it up to like 45, and just kind of AB between those two. Um, typically with music oriented stuff, I tend to make those cuts a bit higher because everything needs to be delivered in a certain way. In the individual sound design level, I tend to keep those frequencies in there, um, because you don't know how people are going to want to use those things or if those sounds are going to be in isolation or whatnot, right? But when you've got the full mix thing going on a big system, I generally like recommend taking more of the low frequencies out there. It's just going to make the modulation and stuff sound a little bit more well defined, I think. Um, yeah, and as it should be, because I mean your modulation is freaking on point and your sound design is on point, of course. And this ARP is fun. This is good. This is good. Um, Kind of interested to see what happens next. So this is for after the EP. So does that mean that you've got everything else done for the EP that's upcoming? Thank you, Central. No words needed to describe what I'm feeling. Now uh, that's a great title. TMTM, missing 3 collab tracks for the EP that haven't been started. Finished or near finished all the solo songs. Cool. Okay. So you've done all that you can do alone. Now you need to be dependent upon others for a bit. All right. Up next is TMTM or Tom Tom, maybe? Tam Tam? Here we go. All right, TM, this is great. It's like a modern Twin Peaks kind of vibe to it in the intro there, and the full mix is glorious. It's quite cinematic in its like sweeping energy. The subs are dominating this mix though. They've got to be brought down in volume, and we got to roll up those low frequencies because they're too low. It's kind of shaking the mix and it's pushing the mid, so it's making all of the clarity in the middle kind of disappear at points. So if you can attenuate the low end, then this whole thing will sound a whole lot better. And just bring it down significantly. Bring it down like 10 dB, the subs, and then roll up the low end cut to like 40, 45, 48, somewhere in there. It'll sound so much better. You'll have so much more power in your mix, and you'll hear so much more of that sub, because right now there's too much feeling there. There's just this over, um, it's just overdoing it. It's just pushing stuff around. Watch the lufs too. The average lufs in this are just high, so you need to bring them down. I mentioned earlier, loudnesspenalty.com. You can drop a track right there on their website, and it'll tell you if your stuff is too loud, if it's going to get turned down, and if it is, then do it yourself. Don't leave it to the streaming platforms because it'll suck. Great sound though. The whole palette is fire. Like everything in this is great. Your arrangement is just borderline majestic. Like it's got a lot of really good things. The loudness and the subs really have to be wrangled in before other kind of feedback can be given, honestly, because it would be unfair to like send you on missions to fix these little things when most of that stuff is going to be perceived very differently after the subs and the loudness stuff is taken care of. So it's good, and I want to hear more from you. So thank you for bringing it. Kid BT. Let's do this. This one is called Fade Away, recorded on iPhone, rough draft. Let's do this. Action to Jesus, absolutely. Still a newbie at sound designing, doing music, nearly 4 years. But hey, it's fun. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, if you're just still getting started, this is great. Plate official, you should be able to see it. It is here. It's on the left-hand sidebar. I think I saw you in there, didn't I? Or maybe not. It might have been that we did yours in the last stream. All right, Kid BT, fade away.
I'm so stressed. I'm a mess. Don't know what you need. I feel like less. Screaming out loud, yet no one can hear. Thinking what is going on. I think I'd rather disappear. Nobody here to care. Nobody on the phone. I don't even
All right. This is great. The LUFs are hot, so the loudness needs to be brought down, but it's not just like turn it down. It's from the maximization coming from the limiter that you're running it through, and then turning up the loudness behind it. So the peaks are kind of staying where they are, and the noise floor is kind of being pushed into them, and it's taking away your dynamic range. Okay, so there's a couple things here. Once you wrangle in the LUFs, the bass and the sub are both really dominant. So a new volume mix is probably going to be needed on this. You want to pick one hero and make sure that nothing ever goes above it in the mix decibel wise, right? And that the sub is the only thing with any sub frequencies present. And then I would turn the sub down. I would cut the sub frequencies at probably 46 or so on this, and I would bring it down probably like 8 dB at least. The bass, it should be cut probably upwards of like 80 hertz or so, and Liv, it's all right. Welcome in. Cardio Party in the chat. Give her a follow. Excellent channel. Wonderful music. Bring down the dB of the bass as well. 4 to 5 dB to start. Once that is done, you're nearly radio ready already. Like just those two things being brought down, in addition to backing off all of the maximization. The piano can use a little EQ, wrangle in the lows just a little bit because it's a little heavy down there, and it also sounds like it's just being run through a reverb, like a reverb plugin was put on the same channel as the EQ. Set that EQ on an auxiliary channel and send your piano to that auxiliary channel, and then put an EQ after that reverb and roll up like half the frequencies on that. So you're letting out all your mids and mid highs and highs, but you're not letting out the lows in that piano. And I bet that whole section right there starts to feel a little bit more balanced. At 116, it's a good transition. I like the transition effect you have there, but I would double down on it. Either an additional kind of lightweight whoosh or a simple noise riser there just to kind of accent that moment. And then at 148, there were a couple of moments like this, but right here you can hear it feels like the piano's gone a little bit rogue. Like the vocals are obviously the main focal point of the mix, but here's that piano, and it's like trying to grab your attention off to the side just a little bit. So what I would recommend is a little bit of volume automation in the mix, seeing the different players in the mix kind of come up and down at more appropriate times, so they're not stepping on each other and kind of grabbing attention. And that's it. I think, after that, you've got a really solid piece of music here. It's good stuff. And that was all done on an iPhone. So I actually mix everything on my phone using BandLab, so I don't know if I can do all that. Yeah, an iPhone. This sounds great for an iPhone. If you have the option of getting it out of the iPhone and into a DAW, it could definitely be a next level thing. You might, if you don't have that option, you could maybe post a thread in the collaborations channel here on the Discord and see if anyone might be down for a little collab action on that. I'm Suicide. We've actually just closed the queue because we've got we're supposed to stop in like 15 minutes. We're obviously not going to because we've got like another hour's worth of music here probably. So we're not going to be able to fit it in today, but we can in the next one. And stick around because we're in the middle of just a serious tear here with the community music today. Zamertz, you are up next. This one's called Step Outside. He's saying, just a rough mix of something. I was up late last night making any feedback welcome. Very early on with the arrangement. I have a feeling we're about to hear some Euro rack stuff, maybe? Ooh. Jamie, welcome in. Happy Friday. Oh, I love these slow bends, Mertz. Voice or Volca. Voice or Volca. The world wants to know, Zamertz, was it a vocal sample? Dialogue? That's the old pitch bend on the Roland. Can't help it. Yep, there you go. There you go. This is flipping great. It's so nice. No samples, just synthesis. It's just so nice. It's all really lovely. It all fits together quite well. It's got a nice space around it. It's great, man. I love how in tune you are with the synths that you play with. It's just feels good every damn time. Every damn time. Space for a cow. Yeah, the pitch bends were amazing. Absolutely. Would be a great game soundtrack. Yeah, I gotta love it when you can tease out those formants a bit, huh? All right, up next is Ant. I am Lush. Still some mixing issues and some parts I'm not happy with. This one is called Breath 4. Nate, you take care. Big love, homie. Ooh, man. All right. And this is flipping great. A little bit of saturation on that sub. Roll up the bottom frequencies on that. Roku is right. You don't need the 30 hertz. Roll it up Uh, long pitch bends today. Brilliant intro. Love the freaking timing of all of your bass, your modulation, all of it. Um, and playing your bass like a horn on this one. It's very nice. It's very nice. Wrangle the lows on this one, and I'm pleased as punch. This is what two killer whales having a fight sounds like, right? Right? Man, a lot of really good stuff in this one, dude. A lot of really good stuff. Big ups. Watch the lows. Alex. Yeah, roll that sub off. Alex, you are up. This one's called Feeling Better.
Bro, that's not funny.
Lately I've been feeling better. Don't care if you will send a letter. Lately I've been feeling better. I don't care what you think, I don't care what you say. I've been feeling better on my own. I've been feeling better with my Lord. Take myself to the bed, I chill. I know that I don't need pills. All the goodness that I refill. Challenges, I'm walking up a hill. I know that I go against my will still, but I've been feeling better, better. Don't matter if you send a letter. I've been feeling way better. I love to relax, I love to rest. That's how I settle. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Laying too much in my bed, getting too much in my head. Watching all these TV shows, I'ma do nothing today. Psych, I'ma write 3 songs today. Nothing will get in my way, cause I've been feeling better, better. I've been feeling better, better. Walking up a hill, getting it down with boulders. There's weight on my shoulders and there's hate on my shoulders, but there's no sin on my shoulders, cause there's Jesus with me, and I'm feeling better, better. Washed by his blood, he brings love, love. Never drown in a flood, love. And I'm feeling way better, better. Yeah, you know me, you know me. Yeah, I used to be depressed. Now I'm feeling way better, better. Way, 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 way. Way, 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 way. Way, 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 way. Way better.
All right. I think this one sounds pretty darn complete as well. There's the one spot in the middle of the arrangement where the vocals drop out for a bit and the interest kind of wanes. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of top line, something there, to kind of carry it through that moment. Sub bass on this one, same as the last. You can roll off some frequencies. Roku's actually made a note here. 24 dB per octave curve. You could go as sharp as 36, somewhere in the vicinity of 42 hertz. There are sweet spots. There are sweet spots, and this is one of them. We talk about this a lot, but there's going to be this redistribution of energy. There's only so much energy running through those speakers, right? And the lowest frequencies are the heaviest to lift and keep going and recreate and all that. So, and they stick around the longest too. So the more of those that you can eliminate and still maintain the sub presence that we all want in music is the balancing act there. So Follow the advice in the chat from Roku there. And this is going to sound good. Otherwise, this is sounding really nice. It's good. I'm not sure that it's necessarily missing anything, but I do think that at a couple of points there could be interest added. You know, it could be as simple as just a couple of very subtle scratches in the background, or taking like a little 4-bar chunk and chopping it up, and in just a couple of places you just shuffle the order of that 4-bar segment, right? Or maybe even toss in a little break fill or something. There are a couple of spots where I think you could add some kind of embellishment or quick change up just to shake things up just a little bit. Melody ad-libs or synth swells. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the vibe is pretty solid though. The vibe is pretty solid. I mean, these are small things. The bones of your track are all in the right place. All right. A Saint, you are up. Let's do this one. This one is called Firm Grounding. Before we roll, Roku's saying, general rule of thumb, the slower your track, the more low end is possible for subwoofers. Once you start getting into 118 beats per minute, you need to slide up the low end curve. 134 to 140 BPM, you're looking at a 55 hertz average point. You got to keep things nimble. That's really what he's trying to say, is that the low frequencies take a certain amount of time to move, right? And the more nimble your track, the more rapid the delivery of individual notes, then the more nimble the responsiveness in the entirety of your track needs to be. So you need to eliminate the slowest or lowest frequencies in the mix as you go up to maintain that clarity. And A Saint is saying, I'm an amateur self-taught piano composer, not much of a producer. I imagine vocals, but don't have vocalists. I was trying to do something interesting. I hope I'm able to communicate what I'm hearing in my head. And Roku says, yes, subwoofer cone needs time to reset before the next note. Exactly. Kind of like compression. Gotta let it breathe. All right, here we go. Firm grounding. Boy, Charlie, welcome in. Okay, cool. So I've got a couple of different types of feedback here for you. First, the drums. In general, not just the drums, but the drums are a really good example, is your sounds could use a little bit of tightening in the form of EQ shaping, right? So you're going to roll off as much of the low end as possible. You're going to try and find the focal point of each sound, and you're going to look at the frequency, like the majority of the buildup of frequencies in that sound, because that's where the focal point is, right? And you're going to try and find a way to create more room in other sounds in the mix to leave room for that chunk of frequencies in that sound. Okay, so in other words, you've got a guitar and a piano. If you look at the two of them, there's going to be kind of like a buildup of competing frequencies there. And by competing, I mean they're going to have the same frequencies operating in the same frequency or in the same time and space. Um, and that is going to be um, where muddiness and conflict and like quietness and stuff like that, kind of dull type stuff, ends up coming from. So start tightening stuff up with the EQ a bit more on every single track. You can shape some stuff with compression, in that you can help a transient kind of stand out and quell the boominess in the body of a snare or a kick rather easily just through compression. And then you could add a little bit of overall punch from a little bit of saturation, right? So you tighten it, you wrangle in the frequencies. So the most important frequencies are the ones that are really on display. And then you shape it a little bit more with some compression. You squeeze it a little bit, and then you put a little saturation on top of it, and it's going to help it kind of sit up more upright in the mix. The piano, I think, could be moved a bit more to one side to better isolate it. And the bass, which is in the center, has some low frequencies that just aren't needed. Um, and having that much bass bleeding out to the sides of the mix the way that it is going to make it harder for the listener to be focusing on the middle of the mix. It's going to be taking away a lot of clarity. Like Roku was saying about being nimble. Um, you want to make sure that your mix has the clarity and definition in each sound, and a lot of the extraneous low frequencies flying around in a mix hamper that. So I would cut down on the amount of widening, the stereo width that you have on the bass, and cut off some of the low frequencies there. And that's going to focus your whole track. Your whole track is immediately going to sound punchier and more well defined. And then it's a matter of going in and doing the same thing to your guitar and piano that we were just talking about with the drums, right? Kind of going through and wrangling in those frequencies a little bit better. And then just as a creative note, some fills for the drums would really go a long way. Trying to find a way to generate some more interest around transitions. I'm not sure that transition effects are a good choice for this music, but some kind of fill. It doesn't always have to be a drum fill. It could be some kind of a little riff or something that you explore with one of your other instruments. It can also be playing with volume over time, right? Things kind of crescendoing or decrescendoing or swelling during certain times or times or whatever. And then just to have a little bit more progression as your verse, chorus, verse is unfolding. Just a little bit more ground covered. Because the piano and stuff, it does sound a little loopy at points, right? So you want to kind of deviate from those things as much as possible. With vocals, something like that is not as important because the mix becomes much more supportive. But right now, it doesn't have that other main element to focus on, so it needs to take a bigger role. Paul's saying, "Gotta go." Have a good one, Paul. Thanks for being here, homie. Have a great weekend. Let's see what everyone else is saying. Should have added more fills. These things are easy to hear when you haven't been the one producing it and hearing it so often. So it's just good to get other ears on it, right? Roku says, love the idea, very creative. It's a bit loopy. Try to write in phrases and avoid repetition. Yep, yep, yep. Fine line between monotony and hypnotism. Absolutely. Ooh, jazzy and angsty. Yeah, I would agree with Roku here, where the verse felt a bit more grungy and the chorus felt a little bit more liberated. Mixing. It's not something that most people are gifted. It's mostly something that people earn when you feel like someone's really got it, or you feel like it's easy for them. It's something that they've learned over time. Um, as Roku is pointing out, it is just taste after all. All right. Yeah, I did like it. It was groovy. And I think it's got a good a good overall sound too. It's got to start working on the mixing routine of put an EQ on something as soon as you've brought it into the mix and listen to it, both just on its own in solo, right? Figuring out what you're doing with your EQ and how it's affecting the sound, and then listen to it in context because that's so much more important, right? How do your changes affect the sound of it in context in the overall mix? And just do that every single day as you're working on this stuff again and again and again. It'll start to make more sense, feel better. And tone. Back for more. This one's called Sorry. See what he's up to on this one. A noir feel. Yeah. Sin City-ish. Yeah. I feel that. Antone. Oh, this mix is so much more liberated too. It's about to get loud.
I said I'm sorry, swear to God you won't apologize.
There you are.
Make me happy if I could just look into your eyes and just be vibing, no, don't sound like I am all the time. You were my drug, I am the fiend, I've been with your sign. Sorry, swear to God, man, I'm sorry. Please say that, or I'll crash in a Rari. Thanks, I'm losing the story. Writing in my notebooks, death was short on me. I said I'm sorry, swear to God you won't apologize. And make me happy if I could just look into your eyes and just be vibing, no, don't sound like I am all the time. You were my drug, I am the fiend, I've been with you at times. I said I'm sorry, swear to God you won't apologize. And make me happy if I could just look into your eyes and just be vibing, no, don't sound like I am all the time. You were my drug, I am the fiend, I've been with you at times.
You know what? This feels really good to hear this this moment in your music, Anton, because you really have found it. You were operating as half a beast, if you will, and so much stuff was being kind of pushed in the process to try to get this really impressive thing out. But it just couldn't be done through simple instrumentation. And now that the vocals are in there, none of the other stuff has to overperform at all, and it feels really flipping great, dude. It feels really liberated, is what it feels like. All right, Luffs and Sub, they're both hot on this one. I would not hot on the Sub, but the Luffs are hot, right? So it's kind of pushing the Sub. So take a look and make sure that the lowest frequencies are wrangled there. It feels pretty good, but I would back off the Luffs and judge again. I love the hard cutouts on this and the breaks. It's just really playful and liberated, and I love that you're exploring the different genres right now as you're fusing stuff together. It's great. Dig it. Vocals sound a little under a half semitone too high, says Elias. Roku says, luffs. And Kung Hun says, the intro was sexy. DJ Kingston says, love it. Yeah, you bet, Anton. You keep it coming back. Hey, and it's good to have you in the mix again. I mean, I would ask, where the hell did you go? But obviously, you were finding yourself. So big ups, dude. Seriously. It sounded freaking great. I want to hear you mix it up with the monthly challenge, with the community challenge this month. Go make something with nature. I I'd say aim for maximum neg 14 lufs with a track like this. Plenty of loudness. Your limiter will not squash your tracks that much. I agree. 110%. This next one is Pablo, called Ohana. Let's check it. Excellent. You are here. Wonderful. I love this penguin. Here it come.
Oh na na, oh la la, shanana, call me daddy, ay ay ay. Na na na, na na na, la la la, call me daddy, shanana, ay ay ay. Bitch, I am sorry, bitch, show your body. She's want to glory, ride me like Ferrari, shake, give me fire. That I feel admire. I drive you like designer. A fresh, we get higher. On my heart, we should go to the bar. Babe, I am sorry. This not your story. Like her money on la la, on her might my la la la. All she wants na 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 na. Come me daddy, ay ay ay. Oh na na, oh na oh na, oh la la. Shanana, call me daddy, ay ay ay. Na na na, on her mic, la la la. Shanana, call me daddy, ay ay ay. Blind bitches on my fire, blind bitches on my fire. Don't, that's cause you don't get lost, cause it's my zone. Beauty girls my base, yo. Never drug, don't play, yo. You must get away, yo. Once again you fail, yo.
Bravo. Nice work on the auto tune. Oh, stepping right over the ending here. All right, I really dig where you're going with all this. Nice work on the auto tune. The dry sweep was really nice little touch. A couple more small little like fine point moments like that would be really killer in this track, honestly. And I agree with Roku. It's got all of the elements. Love to hear a little bit more stereo play in this, right? Like just putting things in different positions in the stereo field. I feel like it would be really nice. That said, I think that the space that is remaining vacant in the stereo spectrum can be used for small little bits of ear candy that can kind of reinforce and or enhance the stuff that's happening in the arrangement, you know. Little change up. You could even do something, I was going to say like a chime run, but I don't know if that would actually fit in this track. But, you know, some kind of like frequency run or pitch bend or a couple of fills here and there, I think would feel really, really nice. The vibe, though, and the, you know, your mix work and everything is really good. It's really good here. And Roku says, especially the vocal harmonies, pan them out. Yeah, the sides are just waiting. For this, and this could have some moments where it kind of explodes like that, which would also feel really cool. But at the very least, the vocal harmonies, yeah, good stuff. Kingsta saying second half is identical to the first. My friend Kong Hoon assisted me to get everything in key. Nice. Look at this. Collabs Foreman. Did this collab form here or elsewhere? This one's called Zeus. right, cool. On this one, I'm feeling like, and that's cool that you guys have known each other for like a decade. Um, Stabs feel like they could be bigger, like kind of cinematic, and it feels like that's kind of what you're going for. Is like you want these really big, like boom, kind of impactful horns and stuff. So this is going to come about through a bit more manipulation. There's going to have to be a little bit tighter EQ, and then some compression, and perhaps some layering, and probably some saturation to kind of beef up the harmonic component to these sounds. And the stabs specifically would probably need some really solid multiband compression work to really kind of seal the deal. As far as the arrangement and your palette and the things that you're working with, you've got it. It's really, I think, to take this to a new level of like intensity or impact or whatever you want to call it. I think it's just gonna require a little bit more on the mix side of things, layering up some things here and there. Some horns could be doubled up, right? You could have that horn line is good, but what if after one time through you bring in a duplicate of that horn line, but it's dropped down an octave, and then after another time through, you do that again, but you shift it up an octave instead, right? And then boom, another time, maybe you're adding like a fifth or something, right? Just to kind of continue to kind of build this intensity and interest, and in not allowing it to be the same thing again each time, because that's when it starts to get loopy. And once it's predictable, then they don't have impact and impressiveness. They have predictability, right? So, if that is what you're going for, is that like that kind of cinematic drive and punch and kind of effect, then I would do these things. Around 38 seconds or so, a transition effect, please, and probably double down on them. A sweep or a swoosh, or a simple noise riser, and then also add a suck back, which is something that's going to come up very quickly and is going to stop. That could be like noise or air, or it could even be metallic in nature. You could even do something like clap with reverb, and then bounce, and then reverse that file, and that's going to be a nice little suck back, right? It's going to have a nice little kind of a thing. But that type of maneuver is something that you're probably going to want to like sprinkle in, not that exact combination, not the suck back and sweep, but small cinematic style embellishments, things that you would hear in a soundtrack or very sweeping music. And once you start to kind of get those in there, when the all the layering is in place and the volume is all balanced, those things are going to be like the icing on the cake, because it's alluding to more. It almost feels like they should be seeing some vocal or some visuals around this. Um, so yeah, horn line is good, but would be better to layer up more, build up some pitch bends around the transitions, maybe. Um, uh, oh, little variety in the delivery as well. Trills, slides, etc. in the horns. It's just small little change ups here and there, I think, actually end up taking this quite a bit further. So let's see what everyone else is saying in the chat. Roku says the bass is freaking quiet. You can hear it slightly, but it's very far back in the mix. I agree. Massive tip, automate the crap out of everything. Modulate things until it feels organic. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you really want that kind of or that the cinematic thing, don't just do linear shapes either. Don't just say, I'm going to increase my volume. I'm going to click here and click here. Now there's the straight line. Curve that automation line so it's concave, right? So it has this kind of zip up in a more dramatic way. Little things like that make all of the difference. And that's what I mean by the horn needs a little delivery shaping as well, right? Like there's the linear delivery, and then there's the more dramatic delivery, right? And there's also the convex, right? The inverse of that, which is great for stabs and stuff, right? So a lot of this delivery of stuff is really just about the amp envelope on the individual sounds as well. So hope this made sense and vibes with you. Everyone else is liking it, I believe. Sunken Rock, yeah, we have actually closed the queue, but people can still leave you some feedback outside of the stream as well. So feel free to drop the link, stick around. We've still got some really good music here. Vocative. Let's check this out. See what you're up to this week. This is a really good example of you could do something that's very familiar and still make it really fresh just by making different decisions along the way. And you can still maintain a quality club vibe and not follow all of the same patterns that everyone else is following, which is it's nice. It's refreshing. Um, it's a cool delivery in all of this. And I love all the playing with the shaping of sounds. We were just speaking of the importance of the attack, decay, sustain, release relationship with the delivery of sounds, and how playing with the delivery is just half the fun of making this kind of music, right? I'd add some saturation of the horns, kind of beef them up a little bit. I feel like they're giving these really solid stabs at just the right time and not having quite the impact that they could, and I think some saturation would do it. I would also recommend sprinkling in some transition effects here and there, a couple of whooshes, some flybys. Might even want to toss in a clap somewhere. Really, it's it's pretty solid there. Or a UK style house, right? Maybe not bass house. It could be UK. Roku says the Brits love the chonky broken type drum grooves with lots of stops and stabs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, Trim Ties, welcome in. Yeah, dude, we are still here. We are still here. Oh, you know what? Official, we're actually wrapped up. We were supposed to stop streaming like 40 minutes ago, but we've still got a lot of heat in the queue, so we've still got a few to get through here. You can feel free to drop something in the public feedback, and people can still provide feedback outside the stream. But I'm going to stretch my legs here in a while. Next up is Elias Connell. Let's see. This says, friend recorded some loops. Vivid Fever Dreams. Welcome in. Happy Friday to you, by the way. My friend recorded some loops from an 80s keyboard from my uncle into Logic Pro, and then we recorded them onto a tape player and then back into Logic while trying to slightly warp it with the fast forward and rewind, and then I added some extra arrangements after he left. It needs a lot of work. All right, well, let's see. By the way, I love the creative workflow. What's not to love about this one? What's not to love about this one? This is absolutely great. It's lovely. It's very familiar. It's like a summer day. Feel the breeze on my face right now. I want some tube saturation on this mix. I want it to be like a little bit thicker down low and warm all over. You know what I mean? Butter sliding off a hot biscuit. It does sound like there's some compression on the output in this mix that's dampening the entire thing. It actually gets quieter as the full mix comes in, which is very indicative of the threshold being too low on a compressor and the ratio being too high and the release being too high, because it didn't sound like we were ever escaping the compression, like it triggered and then it maintained. And what we really want in a track like this is this expansive, upward kind of almost euphoric kind of feeling, like this just opened up and there's no lid, where we must be out in the open, like it's not even hitting a ceiling. So we want upward compression. We don't want the downward compression on this, and we certainly don't want it on the entire mix. So that is what I will leave you with on this one. Besides, strong game vibe, very good. Have you ever considered producing for gaming? Roku is saying, for the new guys here, stick around, don't drop your track and leave after feedback. This is a community you want to stick around in. Lots of professional artists, sound designers, mix engineers, and mastering engineers in here. There's always something to learn, and everybody helps each other out here. There's never any flack and only good vibes and the willingness to learn and grow together. Hearts. Yeah, 100%. Drumtie says, I'll second that completely, Roku. My mixes have improved a lot just in the past year. And he also says this was very cool. Likes this track. Roku says, cute and lovely. Some mixing things here and there, but the tune itself is gold. Yeah, don't change anything. Don't change anything. Like this is where we find a lot of people in the community when they first arrive. If they've been doing it for any period of time, they've got some really, really good ideas. And now they just have to figure out how to make it all sound the way they really want it to. So you've got your idea out and don't change it. 100%. Definitely agree with Roku. These are tiny little things here. They sound like big things, but these are tiny, tiny little adjustments that you make to something like this. And then you just get it out in the world and on to the next. Drumtie says, this is on the perfect level for background ambience. It's not too distracting. The frequency space is very open and leaves plenty of space to add stuff on top. And Elias says, yes, I've thought about it, but I haven't followed up on it because messaging people from older Reddit posts. Yeah, I feel you. You don't have to be steeped in the gaming industry culture to make waves in the world. That's the nice thing about online portfolios, is you don't have to be there, just your sounds. Nate is up next. He already bounced, but we're going to listen and give him some solid feedback here. So I know he's going to be looking at the VOD, and I'm sure it's probably pretty short as well. He's working on a new riff rock funk chiptune for his new video game. Bass and guitar samples will be replaced with actual guitarist and new guitar plugins, and things get a little glitchier in certain areas, making filter into hook better, also adding more pitch modulation on the square wave sustain moments. Okay, cool. This one's called Self-Discovery Groove Rock. All right, dude. Nate, I know you've bounced, but here's my feedback for you. It's great, of course, because it's something that you're making. Um, it feels way more organic than where you started yesterday. I love the timing of all of it, and the sustains I think are just absolutely perfect in there. The subtle bends, the little pitch bends, um, the the glide is great. And I dig the guitar stuff. I think it's going to sound even more um, spot on with the real world performance. Um, I'm not sure that I really have a lot for you here. There were a couple things that I was hearing, like if you had a couple of very rapid Square LFO mod, like pitch mod, square wave arps in there. Just like little high score or alert type sounds, like off in the sides as tiny little embellishments here and there, as though there was like some kind of character like scroll, like as I'm listening to this, I'm kind of imagining some kind of scrolling screen, right? So someone's moving through space and there's like some arcade sounds happening as they're doing it or something. I don't know. It's just kind of what I was hearing. I'm really looking forward to hearing where this goes with the real world performances in there. It's good stuff, homie. Um, oh, and fire back a text, and we'll get you dialed in with a session as well. Treptai says, "I forgot about the Jackrabbit games. Those were rad." Oh, the Cohen sound, 80s fitness for a second. Oh man. Roku says reverb on the drums is a bit too wet. Yeah. Sunken Rock, I'm feeling like we should go ahead and hit your track. Yeah, and the bridge is tasty. Right, an ending, right? Yeah. I can't wait to see where you take this one, dude. Absolutely. All right, Sunken Rock. This one is called Infamous Tagged.
Quad X.
Hmm. All right, so this is what I've got for you, Sunken Rock. This is gold. Like, I love the aesthetic here. I love the arrangement. I love the palette that you're working with. The delivery of the strings is freaking choice. All of it's great. The luffs are way hot. Like the loudness is too much. So we got to bring it down. And the sub needs to come down aside from that. Um, just the actual sub frequencies just need to be brought down, and the 808 can come down 2 to 3 dB as well. That's in addition to the luffs being hot. So I would bring down the sub. I would bring up the low point cut. So right now it feels like it's probably cut around 30 hertz. Bring it up, mid 40s, 24 to 36 dB per octave curve. Right. So it's going to look like, this. It's going to look just like that. Maybe it'll be like this. Maybe it'll be like this. Maybe it'll be like this. But it's going to be somewhere in this vicinity right here. And this is just what Roku was talking about earlier. But you can see that that's exactly how I had my EQ set up on the intro music even at the beginning of the stream. It's a pretty standard spot. And it'll definitely add even more power and presence and also clarity and like definition and edge to all of your sounds in the mix as well. Which they deserve because this is pretty great. Liking the tone of the guitar, but the LUFS are wild. Turning down my volume. Okay, so yeah, people love it, but it's just loud. This is the version I have on YouTube, so it's a bit louder than need be. Gotcha. Tremtai says, I'm mixing my stuff with neg 50 dB now. People need to crank it. Roku, also don't smash your track on the master bus. Try to do limiting on the individual groups. Pro tip. It will give your track way more air to breathe and regain dynamic range. Yeah, so let's just explain that really quickly. Okay, so when sound goes into a plugin, it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know what the music is or what your intentions are, any of that, right? It just knows the signal strength. So as soon as that compressor gets tripped into action, that's it. It applies its stuff. There is no logic there. There is no logic. It's simply running through parameters, right? One thing at a time. It's a workflow. So you need to make sure that if you don't want, for instance, your bass to affect your strings in a mix in any way, shape, or form, then keep them separate in that process. Look at that. Look at that. Roku is going to teach Tremtai some stuff. That's some love right there. And look at this, man. Elias kicking down a feedback clip for Nate. Man, that's some love right there. If only someone could have shown up and taken notes and... Oh, we did. Someone did. That's awesome. That's some love. All right, kitty cats, let's see who's up. Let's see who's playing right now. This has been a really good Feedback Friday, by the way. Don't forget the loudnesspenalty.com. I'll put this link in the chat for those of you who do not have a good metering situation with your DAW for whatever reason. This place is a place you can go to and drop a track there, and it'll tell you how it ranks, if it's going to get turned down or not on streaming platforms. Also, don't forget that we have a new format for the community challenge this month. Everyone, it is open to everyone. Everyone in the community can participate this month, not just subscribers, and you can produce whatever genre in whatever format you want. Doesn't have to be a full mix song, could be a beat, be a freaking podcast intro for all I care. It could be a trailer. The only thing you need to make it qualify is at least one sound from nature. Everybody that participates gets another free sound pack. Winners, chance to be on the show, other good things. Also, there's a side challenge this month. There's a side challenge for those that were here on the stream last week when we hit 1K. You all downloaded a pack called 404 Drums Deconstructed. It's from one of my other sound design labels called Sound Freaks. They're super awesome sounds. They're super fun and funky and quirky. And you guys are taxed with the side quest. Who's going to make the beat that gives us the biggest stank face? We're going to have a listening and voting party on the same day for both of these challenges this month. It's going to be July 1st. It's a hump day. It's going to be good. No, it's a Friday, I think. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right. Now, we're going to go say hi to Andremia and wish him well. Thank you, you guys, for spending so much time with me today. Happy Friday to you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I may not be here on Monday, just in celebration of Juneteenth. And I might. I haven't made up my mind yet. We'll see. I hope you all have a great weekend. Stay inspired, make something funky, and I will see you on the flip. Peace out.